Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Gum Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Asanast Fire here on the Way of Dharma 108. We are going to discuss the color blue today. We are going to talk about the color blue and its spiritual significance. Om Namah Shivaya. If you are new in this channel, please make sure that you do subscribe. Make sure that you hit the like button. And if you are a returning subscriber and a viewer, welcome back. The Way of Dharma is a channel where we talk about occult subjects ranging from Eastern Oriental esoteric systems to the Western magical esoteric systems, as well as the Central, which is also known as the African continental esoteric system. So our topic for today, we are going to discuss the color blue. As you might have heard when I started the video, I'm going to talk about the color blue, its significance and what it corresponds to, and its elements here in the spiritual path. Now, these color series videos came about as a result of knowing how to view people's auras. Basically, it was about something that I read about which spoke about people's auras and how to identify the colors of the auras. I'm sorry guys, what I'm saying right now can be a bit offish, as I feel exhausted and I want to do this for you guys. Just like I promised, I want to complete this. So please bear with me while I speak to you about these things. So the color blue, from my magical background, I know that the color blue corresponds to the throat chakra. The throat chakra rules over speech, rules over honesty, rules over creative power, rules over the element of space, rules over creativity. The power of Vak derives from the throat chakra. The ability to chant mantras, the ability to use your throat chakra to influence people with your speech so that they can like what you speak about, so that they can resonate to what you speak about, so that they can listen to you. This originates from the throat chakra. The throat chakra corresponds to the air, no, not the air, the ether element. And ether, if you can check, it's a very subtle form of energy, also known as life force, also known as prana. Prana akasha. It's also known as akasha, the hidden element, the one that binds all the other elements together, the element of speech. What can you say about speech? Chant a mantra, for example, Om. You can't see the chant, but you can feel a static of the chant when I utter it. It can make your hair stand on end. It can make a feeling of electricity. That's how the element of ether feels. That's how the element of ether is perceivable. As we speak now, there's a little amount of hair on my microphone. When I chanted, it was doing statics. You understand? Air, no, not air, ether, akasha. It's also spirit. Spirit force, life force, is also known as chi, which is prana, which I've spoken about in my earliest videos where I titled it Thought is Also Spirit. Om Namah Shivaya. So now let's go into the fundamentals of the color blue. The color blue represents purity of mind, represents honesty, represents trustworthiness, and then the lighter shade of blue represents religious purity. You understand? Now remember, I've spoken about honesty. Honesty derives from this fact that when your throat chakra is opened, you derive benefits of truth in your speech. Your speech gets to be aligned with your actions. You no longer want to disharmonize your speech and your actions. You get to have a clear intent, which is most of the things that beginners in this occult journey struggle with. I've casted a lot of spells. I've found myself in situations which I would have avoided earlier on in the spiritual path because of my clear intent. When I would say an intent out into the universe, I would word it in a certain way, and when the results came back, I found them unsatisfactory. It's only when I think or allude that to my opening of my chakra, my throat chakra, that I was able to do what? To clarify my intent, to make my speech harmonious with my actions. It is now much easier for me when I ask for things from the spirit world, from the spirits, from the devas, the devatas, from the universe, because now I know what I want. And someone says that I take things too literal, whereas that's what happens when you open up the throat chakra. Your intent gets clarified. So that's what happens as a result. Blue is also a protective energy. It is the color of the ether. There's a way to actually check the ether. I forgot how to do it, but I used to do this a lot in my earliest practices of occult and spirituality. I would take my hand and put it far ahead and try to look in between the gaps of my fingers. There's a blue subtle energy that's always There's a blue subtle energy that's always vibrating when you look through your fingers. It almost has a color of a blue flame, almost has the characteristics of a blue auric field, almost white in color, but it's that way. That's actually the ether. Ways to feel the ether or the prana akash. You can do this. Open up your chakras, your palm chakras, and then you clap. And then what do? You do this. That's ether. Now, a cool technique to build up the ether in your hands as a ball of energy. Open up your palm chakras, and then you slap, and then you start to feel the energy in between your hands, basically. And vision with every breath that you inhale, you are sucking in energy from the universe, like so. When you breathe out, envision the energy coming from your hands, and then do a gesture showing that you are growing the energy. And do this. If you can't feel a pulsation, if you can't feel a resistance in between those two hands, I don't know what's wrong with you. But that's how you build the ether, that's how you build the akasha, and that's how you build up energy that we use in Reiki healing, in energy projection. And I might want to mention to you guys that I once tried something about psychic vampirism. So the energy that you feel in between your hands is the life force. It can also be sucked out of an unknowing victim, and this I've tried also. So this I've tried also. These things are real. This concludes the video where I speak about the color blue. It's a protective energy. It's a color of trustworthiness, religious purity. It's a color of honesty. It's a color of creativity. It's a color of the akasha or the ether element. It's the color of the throat chakra. Symbolizes clear intent, clear speech, and clear audience, basically, because speech relates to the ears and the eyes and the nose, basically. It's the same system, basically, in your body, which relates to all those things. It also helps with fixing your tongue, because your tongue, when it's uncontrollable, it wreaks havoc upon your life or its owner, basically. So these things you must be taking caution of, you must be aware of, and you must be able to fix them. You can fix this by stimulating your throat chakra. There's certain mantras that you can say. You can stimulate it by focusing on it. You can intensify your magic by doing magic spells to enhance your speech, to enhance your energy and life force by incorporating the color blue. When you check for a person's characteristics, when you find blue in their aura, that's how you know that you can trust them. If you find any other colors like brown, you find red, you find green, dark green, that's how you know you're dealing with bad mind people. Om Namah Shivaya, Arsonist Fire. We've come to the conclusion of this video. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope that you find it in your way to subscribe so that you can master your life. You can master parts of your mind which are latent, which were not accessible to you before you came across this video. Om Namah Shivaya.